So most people, when they're thinking about photography, what makes a good picture, they think about the gear, they think about the type of camera you're using, that kind of thing, the megapixels in the image. But most people don't talk about the most important thing that will make or break every single image you ever take: lighting.
Come a little closer. I wanna dance with you. Everything's moving slower. I don't know what it is you do. I've been looking at you all night.
Welcome back to Lee's Professional Channel on YouTube. How's everybody doing today? So today we're at Three Creeks Metro Park, and we came out here this morning partially because I've been wanting to get out to this place. We tried to hike on this trail a couple weeks ago and never quite made it out, but I wanted to get out to this trail, and today was the perfect day to do it because one, it's cloudy, so the lighting is pretty nice coming through the woods here, but two, it rained yesterday most of the day, and this trail, as you can see here, has a lot of ferns on it, has a lot of leaves, little flowers and that kind of stuff, where the rain droplets are still sticking because it's so humid out and it rained so much yesterday. So it's making for some awesome conditions. And I just took a picture here of some leaves where the light was bouncing through them. So I just got a couple of images of that, and I'm going to be searching for some more as we go along the trail here. But what I wanted to talk about today was lighting, specifically lighting in photographs. So when most people think of photography, they think of how good of a camera do you got, how many megapixels, do you have a standalone camera, do you have a phone camera, what kind of camera are you using? But the thing that actually makes or breaks photos and makes them really great or makes them meh is lighting. I'm not talking about lighting as far as like just having some light. I'm talking about the way that the light interacts with the object that you're shooting. So if you happen to be taking a photograph of a flower, or like in this instance some leaves with some water droplets on them, the way that the light is hitting that makes that image either look really awesome or not so great. You can take a crap camera from 20, 30 years ago. They aren't crap necessarily, but you can take an older camera that wasn't as sophisticated as the newer stuff, put the proper lighting on the scene, and you can take a picture that is way better than anything you could take with a modern day camera with bad lighting. That's something that I want to try and demonstrate today. I'm not sure how great the conditions are going to be for exactly what I'm going for, but this is a long trail, so we're going to hike the trail, we're going to see what comes up, and maybe the sun's supposed to pop out maybe at some point this afternoon, and if it does, we might wind up getting some really good lighting conditions, so we'll see.
It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. And when you're moving, I can hear my calling. There's no one else here that I see but you. It's what you're doing, it's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love. You set my wheels in motion. I'm going crazy for you. I feel like the ocean. I can see you want this too. Cause you've been looking at me all night, trying to figure me out. I just wanna let you know. And I ain't playing no games, baby, you won't change. I only want you. I wanna kiss you before the sun goes down.
Alright, so we're taking a little break in this clearing that we found. I think we're about halfway through the trail. There hasn't been a whole lot. I haven't seen anything along the way that I'll be necessarily wanting to take a picture of. Although it's a pretty scenic area as far as like woodland areas are concerned. But most of the trail we were walking uphill. It was a really steep climb, sweating, hot. That's why we need to take a quick break here. I think we're at the very top, and we're going to start heading back down into the valley, which is where I hope to find some more images to take. But I figured I'd take a minute while we're resting here to plug Patreon and thank everybody that signed up for Patreon. I'll put the names up here. I've got it over there. As little as $3 a month to get signed up, and then you get monthly perks. Starting off for the $3 a month, there's early access to videos, that kind of stuff. As you go up, there's other stuff in there like behind the scenes content. I send postcards out monthly to subscribers. I've got higher tiers that I'm working on. One of them I've got set up to where I'll send you out an 8x10 picture of one of my images as a print to hang on your wall. That's a when you sign up type of thing. But it also includes like birthday cards, Christmas cards, that kind of stuff. So I'm kind of wrapping all of that into one thing. Working on adding some new stuff. And I've also got I'm waiting on a couple of things to come through, but I have a merch shop set up. I'll link that in the description down below. I got that set up. I've got some early designs on there. I've got some other designs that I'm working on right now. There's t-shirts, hoodies, what else I got on there? Coffee mugs, some other drinkware. There's a pillow if you're, for some reason, want to sleep on a pillow with the logo on it. So go check that out if you're interested in getting something and representing Bear Heart Nation. The entire purpose of it is setting up, so Bear Heart Nation is the community, and I'm trying to kind of organize it a little bit, and I'm going to be coming up with some things over the next month or so. I've actually got some ideas, one of which I want to throw up on Patreon. So I'm going to get some suggestions from you guys for things like the Bear Heart Nation National Bird, the Bear Heart Nation National Tree, like some cool little things to kind of throw in there just for fun. And I'll be taking suggestions from everybody, and then I'll have a vote over on Patreon. I'm not sure yet if I'm going to limit it to patrons or not. I'll probably open that up to everybody and just let everybody kind of vote on it, whether you're a patron or not, because I want everybody to be included. So that's something that's going to be coming up. But that out of the way, I'm going to keep walking down the trail and see what else we can find. Hopefully we'll find something here shortly to take a good picture of, and talk a little bit more about lighting. Alright, so we've been walking along for a little while here, and I finally found something that stuck out to me. I've been looking around, just kind of checking things out. Most of the trail, I mean, it's, like I said, it's a really pretty area. You can see from behind me here. But most of it's just like greenery and leaves and stuff, and while that stuff looks nice, it's not necessarily what I'm looking to take pictures of today. So, walking along, I found this mushroom here that's tucked up right inside of this little tree root, and just the way it looked was kind of neat to me. So I'm trying out one composition. I might try out a couple of different ones, but it made me think a little bit more about the lighting stuff, because with situations like this, especially with a day where you don't really have any sunshine, it's hard to get any kind of sharp shadows and that kind of stuff, which for me, it depends on what you're looking for. Some photographers hate the sharp shadows, hate the bright daylight. For me, it depends really on what I'm going after. But there's days that I love having the bright sun right overhead, where it's casting a sharp light, especially if I'm shooting like black and white for cemetery statues, that kind of stuff. Out here, typically the kind of light that I'll go for, if I really wanted some good solid light, I would go early in the morning or late in the evening when the sun is out and when it's at an angle. Since there's no sunshine today, I'll share a couple of pictures from my bluebell photography video that demonstrate that when we went out real early in the morning and the sun was at a real nice angle, and it allowed some really cool lighting conditions to get those bluebells in. Now, in this circumstance, where we're out in the forest and there's no sunshine, there's clouds, so the lighting is a little bit different. And when I look at things like this mushroom here, I can see there's, in the background behind it, there's a shadow where it's, out of the light completely. And in the foreground, you can see where the light's kind of fading off, but it's a much softer light. That's why I want to try a couple of different compositions, because getting that in just the right light is what's going to make that photo look really good versus making it just an okay photo. Another thing that I want to point out where lighting makes a huge difference is in your camera settings. So on a day like today where it's overcast, for instance, when I'm looking at this mushroom here, I'm sitting at 0.6 of a second for the exposure. I've got an aperture of f11, and I'm running at ISO 400. Now those settings, I could tweak those to change which one's which to change the lighting. But ultimately, depending on how dark it is, you might wind up in a situation where no matter what you set the aperture at, no matter what you set the ISO at, you have to bring the shutter speed all the way down. And in conditions like this, like those ferns that I was shooting earlier, or if I was looking at flowers or other kind of plants here, if there's even a little bit of a breeze and you're running a 3 or 4 second exposure to get just the right exposure, you wind up in a situation where your subject winds up being blurred, and you can't really stop it from being blurred because the wind is blowing. Even a slight breeze, even a little bit of movement will cause it to look blurry because you're running at a 4 or 5 second exposure. So that's why lighting is super important for when it comes to the settings of the camera and stuff like that. Aside from just the fact that the lighting is what, the way that the light is coming in, the way it's interacting with the subject really makes a photo pop, the type of lighting you have and the amount of lighting you have will drastically change what kind of image you have when it comes to the settings. So So I'm going to go ahead and try a couple of different compositions here and just see what works for this particular image.
Stumbling out of bed, and I still got you in my head from all those pretty words you said. It's like I'm wasted. Every time I see your face, I'm losing track of time and space. I don't know where I am. It's like I'm wasted, and I won't waste it. And I promise that I will stand by you forever. I can't get you out of my mind. I will follow you wherever, and I won't waste it. I'll follow you, yeah.
All right, so the sun finally came out. Like I said, I was hoping it was going to come out sometime while we were still here. And I've got this shot right here that I decided to line up and try out. So essentially, this is probably the best way that I can explain how light makes up a shot. So the first time we were walking up this path, it was cloudy. All the light was pretty much the same. And so that spot right there would have been in the same type of light as everything else, even with the fact that there's openings up to the sky. Now that the sun has come out, you see down there on the trail, there's light coming through, there's light hitting the trees and the branches and stuff like that. And it gives me the opportunity to take a shot here where there's some light on the path and there's some light leading up to where it's light and then bright, or in the dark in the background. So essentially, walking up here the first time, there was not really a shot there. Walking back, it's not the greatest shot in the world. It's not going to go up on a wall or anything like that, but it's a pretty cool looking shot because of the fact that there's light on it. And that's kind of the way that I can best sum this all up, is that sometimes you're going to be out walking around, you're going to be looking to take pictures, and nothing really jumps out at you and you can't figure out why. And it might just be because the light is wrong. You can visit the same place on a cloudy day and then come back on a sunny day and get two completely different places and two completely different angles and different types of shots that you can get based off of whether or not there's sunlight. And the same goes for in the evenings and the mornings. If you go to a park in the early morning where you have the sun rays coming in at one angle, go back to that same park late in the evening, the sun's coming in from another angle, and you might get a whole bunch of different shots that you didn't see in the morning. So to sum all of it up, and what would have been a lot easier probably just to explain at the very beginning of this video, that is why lighting makes or breaks a photo. Okay, so with that being said, now that the sun's finally come out, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here. We're almost back to the very beginning of the trailhead. We walked all the way, it was a big loop, walked back around, and then we're heading back out. So I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, hit the thumbs up button, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I appreciate y'all watching all the way through. And yeah, that's gonna have some more cemetery chats, some more photography videos and all that kind of stuff coming up. But I want to thank you all for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your day, and I will see you all in the next one.